Okay, so welcome everyone for this information session about the new Master in Artificial Intelligence at the College of Engineering and Computer Science and the Department of Computer and Information Science at the University of Michigan Dearborn. So thanks for attending this webinar. I know several of you are attending from different places in the world. Hope that there was no time zone issues to attend this webinar. But anyway, we will be providing the recording of this webinar in our master degree webpage, so you can go back and see, anything that you missed during this webinar, and also you will get a follow-up email including the link of this recording. So we'll start with the brief introduction of all the panel members, and then after that I will give a brief presentation about the program, and then Aaron as well will give you a brief overview about how to apply, including discounted code to give the application fee, and then please feel free, during these presentations as well, to ask any questions either in the Q&A or the chat, and we'll make sure that we have plenty of time to answer all of your questions. So in case that you want to ask as well your questions live using audio, so you can make a request and we can add you to ask this question as well, but feel free to ask questions anytime during the presentation. So let's start with a brief introduction. So probably ladies first. Erin, do you want to start? And Yidra then?
Sure. Hi, my name is Erin Vicky. I work in the Office of Graduate Studies. So if you choose to apply at U of M Dearborn, you will probably be communicating with myself quite a bit as you're submitting documents. So I'll be kind of your first point of contact for the application process at U of M Dearborn. If you have any questions about which documents, how to submit documents, or timeframes for getting an admission decision. And I'll give a lot more detail on how to apply towards the end of everything. Deidre.
Hi, my name is Deidre Berry. I work out of the Office of Graduate Education in the College of Engineering and Computer Science. I mainly help with our master's students. And so if you have any questions, I could get you in the right direction. And I also help process our non-resident tuition scholarship for students that are non-residents. So hopefully, if you have any questions about that, we could answer those in the Q&A part of the session as well. So anyone that's a non-resident, just let you know that we do have an opportunity for a scholarship for you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Erin and Deidre, for all your support to the program and answering as well all the emails from the students during the application process and so on. Berhanu, do you want to go next?
Sure. Hi, this is Berhanu. I'm a faculty member at the Computer and Information Science Department. I work in research at the intersection of security, privacy, and AI or machine learning. So if you join this program and you happen to work on topics for projects or theses relating to security, privacy, and AI, I would be more than happy to help out as an advisor. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Berhan. Jen?
Hi, my name is Jin Liu, and I'm an assistant professor in the Department of Computer Information Science. And my primary research interests are machine learning, AI, data mining, and optimization, and some of the applications to bioinformatics and smart mobility. I will be teaching classes such as algorithm and data mining and deep learning courses. So probably you will see me very soon if you are enrolled in our AI program.
Thanks a lot, Jen, and both Jen and Berhanu are part of the program committee of the program as part of the admission committee, which is mainly composed by 3 people, so Berhanu, Jen, and myself. So I'm Marwan Kasantini. I'm the program director of this Master in AI, and also I'm an associate professor in the Computer and Information Science Department. My main research interest and teaching interests are more around the intersection of artificial intelligence and software engineering. So basically, we try to kind of build AI that can actually build automatically software. And we are looking at the intersection of both, like both directions, how software engineering could help building better AI systems and how AI could be used actually to automate software development processes and so on. And as Berhanu and Jen mentioned, so you are very welcome, I mean, to join any of our labs, and we have so many other labs as well within the college and the department that target different core and applied AI applications. So again, feel free to ask questions at any time. So I will start with the brief introduction about the program. So I have a few slides that I want to share with you about an overview of the program. So as you may know, probably like AI is, is experiencing very high demand by industry, government, state, and so on. And most, I think the important aspect here is like our state, the state of Michigan, it's supposed to be one of the highest states to be exposed to AI in the near future within the next 5 years, and thus due to the high concentration of manufacturing industry in our state and so on. So I think you are here in the right place if you want to do a master's degree in AI. Then after that, probably it could lead to several job opportunities and so on. So basically, we try to propose this program to make sure that we are ready to the high demand that would be expected from now to have graduates in artificial intelligence, especially at the grad level, because after getting the required background at the undergrad, whether programming and so on. So I think adding another layer, which is basically strong background in AI, whether the core AI or applied AI, would be very beneficial to have like an optimal career path if you want to actually find a job regarding AI, or probably doing a PhD later as well. So that's the reason why we designed our program around the 4 main concentrations that experience high demand based both in industry and academia. So the first one is computer vision. Probably I can't convince you anymore that Michigan is kind of, the leading state in automotive industry. And as you know, like autonomous cars and so on are nowadays maybe based on all this features and capabilities around computer vision, whether in the ADAS systems and so on. So this concentration is very important to actually improve your background in that important aspect related to computer vision, whether in automotive or cyber physical systems or robotics in general and so on. And the second concentration is also a very important concentration. It's about intelligent interaction, or it's also called human-centered AI, because as you know, any AI system, to build it, you need to have interaction with humans. So probably many of you are using Alexa or other AI-based tools. So this interaction with a human is very important, whether through conversation or through voice and so on. So this concentration will cover all the aspects related to intelligent interaction with human, whether learning from the interaction with the human or the ethics issue that could be related to it and so on. The third concentration is a core machine learning concentration. It's mainly for those who really want to improve their knowledge about really core machine learning and the theory of machine learning. And this is actually a good opportunity if you think that, okay, I know very well the application side because probably I'm working already in industry and so on, but I want to improve my knowledge around machine learning and the core algorithm associated with it, including clustering algorithm, deep learning, and so on. And the final one is about knowledge management and reasoning, which is also a core concentration area that is more related to also the theory of knowledge representation, and including expert systems and other learning techniques, and how to actually deal with the different possible representation of the data and this algorithm, and also working on the co-evolution between the AI model and your data. So basically, you can see that the concentration is balanced between some core concentration that are, I would say, a little bit theoretical, like machine learning, knowledge management, and reasoning, and also some applied ones that has also high demand, like computer vision and human-centered AI. And of course, you are probably aware of other related programs that you have at UM Dearborn. They're also great programs. So we try to make sure that we have a minimum overlap with them. So actually, even if you took this master programs already, you want to do another master here, you are welcome to do so. And this master in AI could bring you another type of knowledge related to beyond just data processing or robotics. So overall, the goal of the programs is to make sure that after graduating, you are able to understand the algorithms related to AI, you are able to understand the ethics issues related to both the data and the algorithm, understand how to design and implement and validate machine learning techniques, including testing this machine learning techniques, and also understanding all the aspects related to the integration of the human in the loop in AI system, ethical issues related to the data and the algorithm, and also how you can actually build what we call AI-enabled systems, because that's one of the main motivation of this program is like, we know that in industry, they have now a high demand on having engineers and experts who can actually build AI system where the design and the implementation of these systems are typically different than designing any other software systems, because you have to deal with diversity of the data, you have to deal with ethics issues, compliance, and also explainability of the results and how to test the system. So we have all this covered in our program. We have actually diverse set of faculty in our program that are not only from our department, but also from other departments, because as you will see shortly, the list of courses that we have are actually spanning from the different departments in our college, including computer and information science, the industrial engineering, electrical engineering and computer science, and mechanical engineering. And also, as my colleagues mentioned, there could be opportunities as well for doing your master thesis or your master project within the Dearborn AI Research Centers, or connecting you to some of our partners, or also, I mean, joining one of the other labs that are doing great work around smart energy, AI and security, smart manufacturing, and so on. So there are plenty of opportunities there. And also based on your agreement with the faculty advisor, it could be as well some financial supports as well. So just a brief overview about the program. It's a total of 30 credits. So basically we have 12 credits that are dedicated for core courses that everyone need to take. So basically there are a total of 4 courses that need to be taken as core courses. So everyone need to take these courses. And then you take 3 concentration courses, whether in machine learning, knowledge reasoning, intelligent interaction, human-centered AI. And finally, you have 9 credits to give you some flexibility, whether to do a project or a thesis. And based on the option that you'd be selecting, you have to take 1 or 2 elective courses that could be any courses that are offered within our College of Engineering and Computer Science. So we have some flexibility there. So I want to highlight here that the difference between a project and a thesis, a project in general is done in 1 term. So it's just 3 credits, and then you take 2 extra courses, but the thesis is 6 credits, and typically in general is done within 2 terms. And it's involved probably a little bit more extensive research work comparing to a project. And then you need to take another extra course because the thesis is basically 6 credits. So for the core courses, so you need to take 4 courses to give you kind of a solid background about the foundations of AI. So CIS 579 is even as well offered during the summer term. So this class is offered during the summer. So probably in summer 2022, you can take this class, for instance, during the summer, and it's in general offered in several terms. So that's give you solid foundations around AI. And then you can select one of the two courses, whether computational learner class or intelligent system. It depends on what do you want your focus, because intelligent system include some probably focus on hardware devices and so on. So if you are more interested to learn about running this AI algorithm in hardware device, probably intelligent systems, and the computational learning, it's taught by core computer science faculty. So it's more about the core learning algorithm, including complexities and so on. And also we have CS 505, which is the core algorithm design and analysis. I think Jen is teaching this class, and it's cover, I mean, different aspects related to algorithm design, because that's important to build AI systems. And also the core software engineering class, to make sure that once you complete these 4 courses, you have kind of a solid background in order to take one of the concentrations that could be whether related to computer vision. So we have classes related to graphics, information visualization, robot vision, pattern recognition, digital image processing, and so on. And the second concentration about the human-centered AI or intelligent interaction include computer game design, game theory, introduction to robotics, mobile robotics, intelligent vehicle system, human computer interactions. And the third one is about the machine learning part, which is core machine learning concentration. So you can get exposure to core machine learning courses from fuzzy systems, intelligent system, artificial neural network, and other type of algorithm. And finally, the last concentration, it's about the natural language processing and other knowledge representation courses. And finally, you either need to take either a project or a thesis. So in terms of the prerequisite for this program, so in general, anyone who has an undergrad in computer science, computer engineering, electrical engineering, it's already covered this background. For some of you who might probably have a different path in their undergrad, we want to make sure that you have the very basic knowledge about programming, mathematics. So I think mathematics and statistics are covered in most of undergrad programs that are in engineering. So almost all of them, they cover these courses about mathematics, statistics. But the programming part, we require that you know the basics of algorithm and some programming languages. And sometimes if you have a strong experience in industry around programming and so on, but you didn't take specific course around programming, please make sure to mention that as part of your application. Make sure that like what was your experience in industry, for example, what programming languages did you use? So we can probably see if you can weave that part based on our assessment of how deep you had knowledge about programming in your daily work. So that's all. I think that's what I want to share with you, and as an overview about the program. And now probably Erin, she will go ahead and give you an overview about the admission process. Then we reserve all the remaining time to answer any of questions that you might have. Thank you.
All right, I promise not to take too long at all. I promise the application process itself is super easy. I just want to show you on the website how easy it is to navigate to graduate admissions to get to our instructions and where you need to be. So this is our homepage, just umdearborn.edu. And if you hover over admissions, it can take you right to graduate. As that loads, anywhere you click on apply now or how to apply, it's going to take you to our list of instructions. I encourage you very strongly, if you're choosing to apply, just to take the 5 to 10 minutes to read through this. And then if you have any questions, you know, we're here to help. We are on phones, so we can take phone calls or emails. We're also set up on a live chat feature. So through any of those methods, you can reach out to us for clarification on our instructions. So the one thing I do want to point out is deadlines. If you're thinking about applying for this fall, you'll want to keep those deadlines in mind. For any students who have no international documents or are considered a domestic on our deadlines page, your deadline for submission is not until August 1st, but registration for fall does begin in June. So I definitely recommend applying earlier. That way you can get financial aid, course registration, orientation, everything like that taken care of in advance. If you do need a student visa and you're planning to come this fall, try to get your application submitted within the next week. Our deadline is May 1st, but we'll be accepting documents after that date. You'll just want to make sure you submit those as soon as you're able. Our Office of International Affairs does have a cutoff date for processing I-20s, which is in July. So you'll just want to keep some of those dates in mind. And if you have any questions about your individual situation, reach out to one of us. We'll be able to help further. So the big thing is getting your online application submitted, and that's kind of the first bullet here. You'll click on this link, you'll create a portal for yourself with a username and a password. You'll answer all the questions. What's your name? What's your address? Which program are you applying for? Those types of questions. And within the online application, you will be asked to upload a couple different documents. The first one is a statement of purpose. It's generally about a 1-page, could be 2-page document about what your goals are. What are you hoping to get out of this program? Many departments also view it as a writing sample. So definitely take your time and make sure that your writing is meaningful for the committee. The next document that you'll be asked to upload is a resume or your CV. Just upload that into the system. When you submit your application, you'll see that both the resume and the statement of purpose have already been marked complete. For artificial intelligence, this program does require 2 letters of recommendation. So what happens with that is you will enter the contact information for 2 recommenders in the application portal. When you hit save on that section, a personalized email with a link is sent to that individual, asking them to provide a letter on your behalf. As soon as they submit it, it's marked as complete in your portal. One thing I would recommend doing is reaching out to the people that you're going to ask prior to entering their contact information. That way it's not coming as a surprise. You can let them know that they'll be receiving an email from U of M Dearborn asking for this information. That way, you know, it's just courteous to make sure that they know that's coming. And then right now for transcripts, as you can see, I'm home. So we are doing things a little bit differently. So to encourage quicker processing times, we give 3 options for submitting transcripts. If your school is able to send transcripts electronically, that's our first bullet point. That way we have them official and it's done, taken care of right there. The next option would be for you to submit transcripts to our office electronically through email. So just a soft copy or a photograph or PDF of your transcripts emailed to us, and we'll accept that. Then if you're offered admission, you'll get to schedule an appointment with our office to submit your official documents at a later date. Alternately, you can have them mailed to us, but there will be a delay probably of 1 to 2 weeks in processing for that. And then the last item that's required for some, if you fall into this category, would be English language proficiency. And that's for anyone whose native language is not English and you haven't met the requirements in another way. I'm not sure how many in our presentation will need to submit English language proficiency, but I encourage you to take a read through this. There are a few opportunities for exemptions from the requirement. And the other thing we are doing right now is accepting 3 tests. So we're accepting IELTS, TOEFL, and Duolingo. So if you want to ask any questions about this specific requirement, feel free to reach out to us after you read through the section here and just let us know if you have any questions and we can give you more specifics. And then you're welcome to submit the GRE exam, but by no means is it required for this. If you haven't taken it, I would probably not choose to. It's a fairly expensive exam. So you can always reach out to any of the faculty members on here or Dr. Casentini, the program director, to have that conversation if they feel that GRE is required. But once you submit your application, it's very straightforward. There's an online portal with a checklist for you to monitor, and you'll be able to follow up 24/7 for any updates or changes to your online portal. We'll also be sending periodic emails at significant points in your application, such as when you submit it and when it's been processed by one of our staff members. The other thing I want to mention is the application fee waiver. That is entered inside the application under additional information. There's kind of a list of bookmarks on the left side once you get into the portal, and you'll see additional information. The application fee code is AI2021. This will come in an email to you as well tomorrow, I believe. So that's entered there. If you get to a payment screen asking for a credit card, you've gone too far. You'll need to navigate back into the online application and enter that in the field that's required. And that's pretty much it for the application process. Deidre, did you want to add anything else?
I'm just going to add that I'm going to put the fee waiver code in the chat so everyone will have that. And I'm not sure if she's going to do her best to get the email out today because it is Friday. If not, it will definitely be Monday.
Okay, sounds great. Thanks, Erin and Deidre. And Deidre, do you want to say a few words probably about the
scholarship? Sure.
Available.
Sure. So we offer a CECS non-resident tuition scholarship. The scholarship basically helps you get the closest to an in-state residency. So it's around 80% of the difference that you will receive. Anyone that is a non-resident, and then if you're coded as an out-of-state resident, you are eligible for it. The greatest thing that the scholarship last fall has moved to an automatic process. After you've been admitted into the university, it takes around maybe 2 weeks for the system to catch up because it's done by financial aid. You will receive an email from financial aid on steps on how to accept the scholarship. And so there are some terms and conditions. You have to keep a 3.2 GPA ongoing throughout your whole time here at U of M. Dearborn, and you have to take at least 6 credit hours to get it. So they pay out for up to 12 credit hours. So you have to take at least 6, but obviously most students do not take more than 9 as a full-time student. Just one note, if you select to take courses as an online student, you're already getting a lower tuition. It is an in-state tuition. So when you're filling out the application, it asks you if you want to be an on-campus and or a traditional 100% online class. You already get the difference in the scholarship, so you won't get the scholarship. So just want to let that out there because I think someone asked about being just a fully 100% online student. So that I just want to let you know that you're already getting in-state, whether you're a resident or not a resident. You pay the same rate. And if anyone has questions, I will put my email in the chat as well, and you could just ask me some questions. I just want to let everyone know that that's available out there. And for 2 semesters, if you're taking full-time status, is around 9 credit hours. Students are getting around 4,500 starting fall 2021. So that's for 9 credit hours.
Okay, thank you so much, Deidre. So so I want to emphasize that the program could be offered fully online. So you can take the program fully online on campus or probably hybrid. Sometimes you can select some courses online, some others in person. So we offer all the courses in the program online, and you can take it fully online to provide you the required flexibility, because we know many of you are actually working full time. So I want to highlight that when we become to the normal, so I want to highlight that most of our grad courses are offered between 6 p.m. and 8:30, 8:45 p.m. Part of the reason is to give you as well the flexibility to attend in person after work. So that's something as well that we consider it. And you can attend the class in person, hopefully when we come to normal, hopefully in the fall and beyond. So we'll take your questions, and depends on the questions. So one panel member could jump in and answer the question or give further details. So I will start with the first question about CIS 581. Could that class be double counted as a core course and then in the machine learning concentration? Because as you may have seen in the curriculum, CIS 581 is listed in both the core courses and also in the machine learning concentration. The answer is no. Basically, the idea is like if you select the intelligent course, the intelligent system course as your core course, you can select CIS 589, which is computational learning as part of the machine learning concentration. So we did it that way to give you the flexibility that in case you want to take both intelligent systems and the computational learning course, you can do so. So you can select one of them as your core course, and then the second one in the machine learning concentration, for example, or as an elective if you want to. Because as I explained it, although these courses, they have some common things, but they have two different perspectives. One, it's more focusing on hardware. The other one, it's about the theory of computational learning and machine learning. So they have two different perceptions. So the short answer is no. And you can take both courses, one in the core and one in the machine learning, concentration. So the next question is about what is expected from a master project versus a master thesis. So probably, Berhanu, do you want to give an answer about the difference between master project and master thesis?
Sure. So for master's project, you generally focus on applied research topics where you will be rather building systems and evaluating them in real life. But for thesis, you are more on the fundamental research side. So you may not build like a full production system, but you have to build proof of concept prototypes, evaluate them, and validate them. So it's more on the more investigative side for thesis, while it is applied for a project.
Yeah. So thanks, Berhanu. As Berhanu mentioned, so in a master thesis, you would have the opportunity to go deeply, into the project because it's spread in general over 2 terms. Because the master thesis is 6 credits, master project is 3 credits, and the master project could be even sometimes like systematic literature reviews. So, for example, you want to do a literature survey about a topic to know what exists in that topic and so on. So, and also as part of the master project, it's not really required to have, a committee to evaluate your work and so on. So it's mainly your work with your advisor. But for the master thesis, we do require that you present your work and submit a report that will go to our library. And so on, and this will be validated by a committee of 3 professors within our college or department who will actually evaluate your presentation and also your report. So basically, this master thesis, for example, could prepare you better if you want to do a PhD later, for instance, because you will have more opportunities for interactions about the topic. And go deeply on that, and probably publishing a paper. It's not really required that you submit a research paper, but we kind of encourage that an outcome of a master thesis that you submitted a research paper or at least a poster or something like that. But definitely in a master project, you may not have the time that you will probably submit a paper. So this is to answer as well the next question about is it expected that that you publish research paper at the master thesis. We highly recommend that. That would be great, especially if you want to do PhD later or learning more about how to write research papers. But the master's thesis itself will be published anyway by our Dearborn library, and also you can use other resources as well. Like we have Deep Blue, where you can actually upload your report there and so on, and we have a whole process for that. Jen, do you want to add anything about master project versus master thesis? What's the difference from your perspective? You are on mute, Jen.
Okay. So yeah, I agree with Marwan and Berhanu. Those master project is more close to a hands-on project, and it may mainly focus on application on a specific project. It may not be a fundamental research related. So if you choose to have the master thesis, you have to go through the oral defense that is a very different process comparing with a master project. You have to go through the oral defense, which is very similar to the process when you when you go through the PhD oral thesis process. You have to prepare a lot of background knowledge, and you have to understand the whole overview. You have to have an overview of the research you are doing, and you need to show your insight. You have to show your robustness in that specific research topic you are working on. So I believe that that will, if you choose that will be a little more challenging than master project. But of course, you will learn more from that process, and it will be very beneficial if you plan to have a R&D position. If you want to go to that area, that will be very beneficial for you. So yeah.
Yeah, thanks, John. And also another thing to mention that in general, if you decide to do a master thesis, there could be some financial support. So in general, it could be done through hourly basis hiring as a temporary research assistant or through GSRI. So this is something to arrange with your expected faculty advisor based on the type of the project, based on your commitment to the master thesis and so on. So that's an additional scholarship that could be arranged at the top of the one that was highlighted by Deidre. And again, this is in general a discussion with the faculty advisor, and we have opportunities actually for matching, whether through research center like the Dearborn AI Research Center. You can put the link in the chat, or other research lab, and I highly recommend you to go to our faculty list and feel free to get in touch with them, send them an email about your interest to do either a project or a thesis, and try to be proactive in that process based on which area you want to focus on during your project or thesis. And finally, for project and versus thesis, a project is 3 credits, so you need to take an additional extra course comparing to the thesis, which is 6 credits from the electives. So, so the next question is about the maximum amount of time that a student can take to complete their degree. So probably I can start with the minimum probably time, because you can either do it full-time or part-time. So if you do it full-time, so I would say the very minimum amount of time could be 1.5 year, like 1.5 year. If you take, for example, 9 credits each term for 3 terms, and then you take 3 credits in the summer, so the whole program is 30 credits. So basically the very minimum, and I have seen this is actually happening in our campus. I have seen some students finishing their full-time master degree in 1.5. This is the very minimum because it's 30 credits. But of course, if you are transferring some credits and so on, that's could be even less than that. And we have some policies around transfer of credits, but and they are already on our website. And that depends from where you are transferring your credits, whether internally here or from other universities. So you can find details, and probably Erin or Deidre could give a brief overview about that. So the maximum amount of time, so I mean, if you take it part-time, I mean, it depends. So you can take 3 credits per term. So probably Erin or Deidre, do you want to answer this question about the maximum amount of time, especially for part-time students, or yeah?
Sure. Yep. So you have a total of 5 years to complete the program from the semester that you start. Doing part-time, 1 class per term, you can still get it completed in 5 years. So if that's the plan that you're thinking about taking, can definitely be done. Anything after 5 years, you'd be working with your department and your program director for petitions to make sure that your classes are still counting towards your degree and things like that. So 5 years is your maximum, and you'll want to keep that in the back of your mind if you are planning to extend your courses for that amount of time.
Okay, sounds great. So the next question about, are there any recommended readings before starting the program? So one thing I want to highlight, I think there is a way to find our syllabus for the courses. So depending on which class you want to enroll in, so its syllabus may mention like a reference of a book or sometimes research paper, depends on the course, about some good readings. And also we organize as well, for example, panels around AI, and sometimes we have discussions about some topics, like during the last panel, it was about the ethics and bias in AI. There were a couple of books that they were actually recommended about that. So probably Berhanu, do you want to say what the book that you recommend, for example, about AI ethics and bias?
Yeah, sure. So the book that I recommended on the panel last, I think a week ago or so, it's called Weapons of Math Destruction. So synonymous to weapons of mass destruction. So when you use algorithms to basically, propagate biases and ethical issues through these algorithms. But, in general, because the question is more from the admission point of view, right? So that book is, if you're interested in understanding the harmful impacts of AI or any data-driven systems. But as Marwan mentioned, I think it's rather advisable to look at the course syllabuses and pick the references or the textbooks that are suggested there.
Okay, great. Thanks, Berhan. So, Jan, do you have any book in your mind to recommend that could be helpful for anyone who wants to go deep in AI in general as an introduction before joining the program or doing the program?
Oh, okay. So I read some books which are very useful after I was doing research in my field. That the one book which is called a Bible book. It's like a very typical textbook, which the title is Pattern Recognition and Machine Learning. That is I think that is mathematically intensive. So if you feel that you're confident in the mathematics background, you can start looking at that book. That will help you understand most of their current state of the art or classical models, methods in machine learning and AI. And I think that book is quite useful. And beside that book, I think there are some other books related to deep learning, and the deep learning technique is currently a super hot topic in industry or research or academia. So if you want to take a look at that field, I would recommend a book which titled as Deep Learning. I think it's called just Deep Learning. That is, the author is Ian Goodfellow. That guy is working in Google Brains. So that is a very reader-friendly book to a lot of beginners in deep learning. So those two books would be my recommendation.
Okay, thank you so much, Jen, as well. And if you can give me a favor, both you and Berhan, if you want to put this references on the chat so people can look for them. And once you join the program, we have also our library of UM Dearborn that have access to so many repositories and IEEE, ACM. So you'll have access to different online resources around books, papers, and also even videos. And like for example, we have the Coded Bias movie, which is kind of the very recommended or famous movie about AI ethics. It's available in our UM Dearborn library for our students and faculty and staff for free. So there are different resources in that perspective, but also I highly recommend that you look to the syllabus. There are many references there to be ready for the program. So the other question about whether this is a fully technical program or there are some elements of cognitive science. So we give the flexibility that you have some electives that you can even take outside the college. So we have that opportunity. For example, if you take if you take a project, so you have 2 electives. So if you're interested more in cognitive science, so there are a few courses provided by CASEL, the College of Arts and Science, that are related to cognitive science. So that could be part of your elective. We have few other courses that are not fully technical, like for example, the one provided by the industrial engineering department, some of them like about human interaction and so on, they're less technical. So yeah, since I mean, the focus of the program mainly to build people who can, to help you to actually build AI systems. So of course, the technical part is very important, but we have that flexibility in the electives and some courses to target some other areas like cognitive science or going deeply in ethics and bias and so on. Can you choose thesis option if if you are completing the degree online? Yes, absolutely, as long as you have the arrangement with your faculty advisor that he can actually be your advisor. This is possible. I'm not sure just about the thesis defense, if could be done online or not. I don't know if Deidre, or I know that currently we're doing thesis defenses online, but when we become hopefully to normal, I'm not sure if you can do thesis online or not. But at least at the PhD level, I know that it's case by case and based on the request and so on. I remember we have few cases that we approve with them, but it may require a request or something like that.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. That would be something we would need to ask Kim.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so probably a general answer. Yeah, it's case by case for the, I think we did that for other programs. So it depends on your situation. If you cannot attend the final master thesis defense, I think, yeah, we can look at that. And yeah, and we'll get back to you with an answer if you want to reach out to us, so we can provide you a definite answer about the.
I could put the Kim's information in the chat so they could have that as well, and then I'll answer it in their chat. So she's just basically the graduate coordinator for that program, so she'll be able to answer that. She's going to be your go-to person once you apply and get on campus. Any questions that helps you through the program. So I'll put all her information in the chat.
Sure. Great, thanks. So the next question about how many courses will be offered online. So to the best of my knowledge, I mean, in our college, we really encourage that grad courses are offered online. So I think the almost, at least the one that are in the program, the core course and the concentration courses, they're all offered online. I think for the elective, if you want to take a class from another college, that's the only part that I'm not sure about it, but in general in our campus we try to offer as much courses online as possible. So for the typical courses from College of Engineering that are selected within the program, they are all, I mean, online. The next question, are there any recommended combination of courses within the 4 major area of study? It depends on probably your goal. So of course we have different concentration. It depends on your goal. You may need to select one concentration area, and probably Deidre, do you want to say something about this question, I believe?
I'm sorry, I was typing Kim's information and I wasn't paying attention.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
So anyway, no problem. So just to say that to answer Laura's question, so I would say it's hard to give you any recommended courses to take. It could be a discussion either with me, or if you have, for example, a master thesis advisor who want you to take some courses to be ready for your master thesis. So it depends on your situation. We can have a discussion based on what career path you want to take later after you're getting the degree. So probably, yeah, if you have any confusions or anything that you are not sure about it, feel free to reach out to me, and I can understand what's your target after the master degree and probably recommend the right courses for that. So I think the question about the financial aid was already answered, including for international students. I think Deidre provided the information. Is there any link for that, or it's automated? I think you mentioned.
I could put I believe I put the link. I could put that also in to the chat so everyone could have the link to the non-resident tuition scholarship. But that's the only scholarship that we offer for our international students. So it doesn't provide a full scholarship. Like I said, it's only provides 80% of the difference from in-state and out-of-state. So we do not have a full scholarship for international students, but I will put the link to the non-resident scholarship in the chat as well if you'd like to take a look at it.
Okay, sounds great. So the next question about the transfer, for example, from the master in data science to the master in AI. So basically, I want to highlight that the transfer process is pretty straightforward in our universities. So there is a form that you have to complete, and then Kim, our grad coordinators, will transfer it to us for review. So the committee of the program will look to what courses you took and how we can fund matching between the courses that you took and the master in AI. And definitely, yes, I mean, even if I'm not wrong, there is no limit in terms of how many credits could be transferred between degrees within our universities, right?
As long as the courses meet the curriculum requirements. So
Yes.
It sounds like there's probably a lot of overlap between these programs, so it shouldn't be any problem.
Okay, sounds great. And regarding your question about the prereq, it's hard to answer. I need to look to the application and to your background to decide, so the committee could decide about whether you have to take 350 or not. So please feel free to actually submit your request if you want to transfer in the master in AI from the master in data science, and we can look at that and provide you a response if you need to take that prereq or not. And regarding the difference between data science and AI, I can give a general answer, then probably my colleagues could answer on that as well. That in data science, we focus more on the data processing part, and in AI, we focus more on building AI systems that include explainability, ethics, data diversity, and how to actually build machine learning algorithms and what context and so on. But in the data science part, it's more about data engineering, for example, cleaning the data, making them ready to be used by AI models later. So it depends what career path you want to take. So that's kind of the main differences between the two programs. So Jan and Berhanu, do you want to answer to the difference between AI and data science as well?
Yeah, I think Marwan covered it. So in terms of overlap, I think as Marwan mentioned in one of the slides, there is about 10% maximum overlap between let's say AI and other programs, including data science. So that gives you a sense of how much difference is there in the programs. But for data science, I think in data science you become a data scientist, but once you finish your AI degree, you could become an AI engineer, an AI researcher, or even a data scientist. So I think that's kind of tells you where the difference is.
Okay, great. Jen, do you want to add something, or it's covered?
Yeah, I fully agree with Marwan and Berhanu. I personally feel that the data science has a little different focus comparing with AI. In data science, some of their you might focus sometimes some research might focus on the data storage, data management, which is not the main focus of AI and machine learning. And if you are interested in AI and machine learning itself, that techniques, probably you will be more interested in the methodology of machine learning AI, how the model is built, how to improve the performance by playing with that model a little bit, and you may want to investigate the mathematical foundation or the architecture of the model. So that's they surely they have some overlap, but they have very clear differences.
Okay, thanks a lot, Jen. So the next question I think is for Aaron. It's about I was a UM Dearborn transfer student. Do I need to submit my transcripts from colleges I attended before UM Dearborn, or they are already on file?
Hopefully not. We will do our best to look through the records, but depending on when you attended U of M Dearborn, materials might not have been imaged at that time. But we will reach out to you during processing to let you know if they are not accessible and to provide them. So you'll be notified one way or another.
Great, thanks. So regarding the question about difference between online and in class, so basically there is no major difference. I mean, the main difference is like you are taking classes online versus in person, but the degree itself, I mean, it's the same. So we don't have any differences or distinguish between the online and the on-campus. So Aaron, is there anything that you need to know about difference between online and on-campus? So probably I know from immigration perspective, sometimes there are some differences for OPT, CPT, and so on, but other than that, from academic side.
From the academic side, I really don't think there's any difference. We're able to market it as online because you're able to do the same coursework. It's going to be a different experience, of course. I'm not sure how CIS does it. But when you do the course, you may need to be there at a set time each week, or you might be able to watch a pre-recorded lecture. So it'll just be, for me, when I did online courses, it was just a different experience than being in the classroom. Something else you may need to take into consideration is the time that it might take you to schedule exams that need to be proctored. And we have a great, it's the ELO office, but I can't think of the term.
Okay,
the like online learning, yeah. So you'll be communicated with by their office as well to help you coordinate those things.
It's now called the CECS Online Office.
Thanks, Deidre.
Wonderful. So the next question is about, is there anyone to talk to about planning courses? So you can either talk to me, or probably if you have a master or I mean, master thesis or project advisor. But I mean, feel free to reach out if you have any questions about your study plan. Like, yeah, we'd be happy to help you on that. So, so the next question about whether this will be, Deidre, do you have anything to add about the planning courses? I see that.
No, I'm just making sure that
okay.
we like go through them and then we take them off, so we know
great.
we answered all the questions.
Yeah.
That's all. No.
Great. So the next question is about whether the courses are live streaming or pre-recorded. I would say we offer pre-recorded sessions, especially when we come back to normal. So we have, I mean, all the online courses pre-recorded. During this pandemic, we offer them in several courses synchronous, so they were actually in a live streaming mode. So I would say depend on the course that you are planning to take. So, and after the pandemic, things will be for sure different. So we might have also more live streaming courses than what we did before. So if I complete my bachelor's around June 2022, should I apply to this master this year or next year? So Aaron, probably, do you want to answer this question?
If you don't graduate until June 2022, I actually would not recommend submitting an application until about this time next year. That way you'll have a more complete transcript for the review committee to make their determination if you're a good fit for the program or not.
Yeah, and also the next question is for you, Aaron. I think we can offer conditional admission at the master level. So in case that you are missing prereq, so we can offer you conditional admission and you can take the prereq, right?
Yeah, for sure. If your department committee feels that, you know, 1 or 2 prereqs missing is not a big deal and they can complete those during the first term of enrollment, then yeah, they can absolutely be offered admission conditionally.
Yeah, and how long it could take to get the decision about whether admitted or not? So that depends on your situation. For example, international students, Sometimes it could take a couple of weeks or 3-4 weeks sometimes to do the the equivalence of the transcripts. So, but any average of the time in general between applications submitted and decision made?
So I'll say once a student has all their materials submitted, because that's completely dependent on the student and their recommenders. But once we have everything we need, you can pretty much be guaranteed of a decision between 6 and 8 weeks. And I would say that's on the long end.
Okay, thank you so much.
Mhm.
The next question, could we combine in-person, hybrid, and online courses? Definitely yes. I mean, you can do that. Is there a link for the syllabus of the different courses? I think in our department, computers and information science department, we are listing all the courses and description of them. But Deidre, do you have any link about all the syllabus of the courses offered in the university? I don't know, Deidre, do you know if you have a link?
Are they looking for all of them? They would go to the college catalog. We could put the link there, or if you're just looking for the AI, we have our I could send the link to the brochure we made that lists all the classes we offer, but a syllabus, I don't have access to syllabuses. The grad Kim might have the ability to send you the syllabus for each program, because she probably has that information. I do not. So I could put
Yeah.
Kim's information and you could contact Kim
Yeah.
if you're looking for a certain program, but otherwise I don't have access to them.
Yeah, I think, if you contact Kim, so Deidre will be putting her information. So she has access to our inbox or Dropbox,
Yeah.
and she can actually send you the syllabus of the courses. So that should be no problem. Okay, so thanks for your interest to the program. And predictive maintenance is definitely one of the things that we focus on the program. And this could be the right fit for you if you want to go into that career path. How soon should you select the thesis or project advisor? That depends. I mean, so at least trying to be proactive, contacting faculty. Sometimes it could be during your first term, like when you start taking courses, you like the topic that the professor is doing research on it, or probably you like the topic of the class, so you can interact with the professor during the class to see if there is a match for doing a thesis or project, or you could be doing this anytime. I mean, once you are admitted in the program, just feel free to reach out to faculty and see if there is an interest, I mean, in working with you in a project or thesis. Anything to add, Berhanu or Janlu, about when to reach out to a faculty advisor?
I think if you have some ideas, potential ideas, reach as soon as you can, especially in the first term, so that you would have more time and you can explore different options if you have to talk to multiple faculty members. But the earlier, obviously, the better.
Great. And probably one last question, and there are already many answered questions through the chat. Thanks everybody for contributing on that. So the last questions, it's about the transfers. So as we just said, if you want to transfer from the data science program to the AI program, the process is really pretty straightforward. You just need to complete a form, and Kim, our grad coordinator, I think her contact information in the chat, could work with Erin as well on getting that form ready for our review, and then we could review. And actually, it's really pretty straightforward to do the review and provide you a quick decision to transfer the credits that you took for the data science to the AI. Erin, do you want to add anything about this transfer process, or?
The student will mostly be working with Kim for any transfer credits. As far as my office, though, it's really just the same application process.
Yeah, sounds great. So I think we covered all the questions. So thanks, I mean, for asking all these questions. This will be helpful to any students who want to join the program. We'll be putting the recording on the website, and also we send you a copy so you can go back and find, I mean, any any answers of your questions, and also don't hesitate to reach out to any of us. I mean, if you want to get any other questions, clarifications. And finally, I would thank all the panel members for all the great responses and for your time to meet potential applicants. And finally, I think you have the discount code to get the application fee waived. So I think it's just could be used for 1 month, right? So there is a time limit with that code, right?
Yes, May 23rd will be the last day that you can use that code.
Okay, wonderful. So again, thanks everyone. Deidre, do you want to say something?
No, just if anyone has any questions, just please feel free to ask me. I did put my email in the chat, and I could always make sure you get to the right person you need to talk to if there's any additional questions.
Great.
So
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So thanks. Enjoy the weekend ahead. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye.